Hello, my name's Anne Burrell and I'm an artist who works with clay. I made this film to help show the children of White Meadows School in Littlehampton how to make some beautiful and simple tiles inspired by natural forms and plant forms. I started off by rolling out the clay between two battens or sticks using a rolling pin. This ensures that you get a really even slab of clay. Then, using a cookie cutter, I cut out a circle from the clay. And here I've made a lovely pattern on the clay using a poppy seed head. This next clip shows me pressing some seeds, some dried seeds into the clay. As you can see, some of them stick in the clay and you can try and remove them, but occasionally you just have to leave them in there so you don't damage the shape. Here I've used a lino leaf shape to cut round so that I make a nice leaf shape out of the clay. Always take your time, be very gentle with the clay so that you don't damage the pattern that you've made on it. Then leave it to one side to dry. Using the other side of the cookie cutter, you can cut out a nice serrated pattern, a bit like a jam tart. And then sometimes it's a bit boring to have them all circular, and if you look at the tops of flowers or maybe cow parsley when you might see it on the South Downs, you can cut it out to make a semicircle shape, and then I've used a little roller to make a pattern on that to make it more interesting. Again, put them all on the side to dry out afterwards. Here I've got two very pretty plants just pulled out of the garden, and I'm just pressing those gently into the clay and press them in gently again using the rolling pin. Oh, I think that was a little creature going across the clay. You need to flick that out the way because you don't want to squash him into it. Again, use the knife just to tease out that stem. Some bits of petal will be left in the clay and you'll just have to leave them in there because if you try and take them out, you'll damage the surface and the pattern. A few bits won't hurt in the kiln, but you don't want too much. Freehand, I've now cut out a nice big leaf shape for that one. This is using the lino again, but there's a leaf pattern carved into the lino which will be impressed into the clay. And then you can cut round the lino as well. Just cut around it like that. And there you can see you've got a nice pattern. Now you could make that even more interesting by again using the poppy seed head to press in. And there you can see the finished tile ready to dry out. Here I've used the jam tart cutter again and I'm using the roller, but this time going across to give it a flower head impression. So these look like the petals that are coming out. Could look a bit like a chrysanthemum, but you might want to make it a wild flower. Really, you're being inspired by the natural forms rather than slavishly following them. And then the poppy seed head made the middle of that one. Now, at White Meadows School, they wanted to make a piece that was about their core values. And so we made some little moulds of seed sticks, and the seed sticks would have the core values impressed upon them, the idea being that you would plant those core values. So you make a little sausage of clay, press it gently into the mould, and then scrape off the excess using a plastic card. use a knife to release it from the mould. And there you've got your seed stick. You can use a knife just to trim that off as well. That one says enjoyment. At the end of this little film, there'll be some images which will show you the children making their tiles and also what the finished tiles look like.